Hello and welcome to today's video. My name is Natalie and I create sewing patterns inspired by historical garments made for everyday modern wear. Today I'm showing my latest pattern, the Lilibet Bloomers, based on late Victorian and Edwardian undergarments but redesigned for modern comfort. They are perfect for a hot summer's day if you make them in a light fabric like a cotton lawn or a thin linen. This pattern is available now from my Etsy shop and the link is in the description below. This includes full instructions and printable PDF pattern pieces so you can follow along to this tutorial. Let's get our fabric, thread and let's get sewing. After putting your pattern pieces together, we're going to lay them out on our chosen fabric, making sure to pay attention to how much seam allowance to add to the outside and which pieces need to go on the fold. Moving over to the overlocker now, we're going to go round each of the sides of the front and back, not including the top of the front piece. Make sure to go slowly around the gusset of the front and back as this section is curved and you don't want to accidentally cut into your fabric with the overlocker. This is what your front and back should look like after you've finished overlocking. Make sure that you overlock both pieces of the front and back. Pinning together the inside leg seam of the front and back right sides together now, and then we're just going to sew down that side. Make sure to do that for both of your front and back pieces. This is what the front and back piece should look like once you've sewn it together. Now make sure to just press open that middle seam. Once you've pressed those seams, make sure to get both pieces and lay them together right sides together so the fronts and the backs match up. It is important here that when you start pinning, you match up that middle seam together. Now sew this up with 1 cm seam allowance. Now we're going to do that section of gathering at the waist. So using the markings provided on the pattern pieces, mark out where your gathering stitches need to go. I like to do 2 lines of gathering stitches, making sure that I've turned my machine up to its loosest setting. I do 2 lines because this means that you can sew down the centre of those and get really even gathers. Securing one end of the thread and grabbing the other end, pull your gathers together. Now pin the waistband right sides together to the top of your bloomers. Make sure to even out the gathering so that they fit within this waistband. I like to start by pinning at the centre front and then working my way out to the side seams. Now sew your waistband to your bloomers. I like to have the gathering on the underneath as it feeds it through the machine nicely to get more even gatherers. Now unpick your gathering stitches and you should be left with lovely even ruffles. Moving to your side seams now, I like to start by matching up the bottoms of the front and back, right sides to right sides, and then matching up the notches that I've put in the pattern pieces. Your front should be a little longer at the top than your back because we will be folding that waistband over soon. Now make a small mark with tailor's chalk or a heat disappearing pen 5 centimeters down from the stitches that join your waistline and your waistband together. Sewing that side seam up now, I like to start from the bottom and work my way to the top. When you get to that mark that you've just made 5 centimeters down from the waistband, you want to just back tack and then you want to loosen your stitch length and then sew up the rest of that seam. Now give that seam a good press open, get your seam ripper and remove those loose stitches until you get to the section that you back tacked. The gap in the waistband and pin them down. You can use ribbon you already have or you can make your own. I show how to make your own ribbon in my previous tutorial. To place the ribbons on the back section, we're going to pin the ribbons to the seam allowance and just make sure that they align with the front ribbons. Just on the back section, we're going to stitch around 0.5 centimeters to just secure those ribbons to the back. Then we're going to press that seam allowance back under and pull the ribbons through to the front. Now press the back of your waistline over by 2 centimeters and pin that down. Now we are going to top stitch that down by around 1.5 centimeters. Getting your waistband elastic, I like to just put a safety pin through one end and start feeding it through the hole left in the side. And then I like to just pin down one end so I don't lose it inside the waistband and then pull the safety pin through to the other side. Now with pins securing your elastic, we're going to edge stitch down the opening 0.5 centimeters, pivot at the side seam and then back up and around, making sure that you've sewn down your elastic to secure it. Moving on to the hem of your shorts now, we're going to press them down by 4 centimeters and then just put a few pins in that. Measure your elastic on your thigh by wrapping it around to get the correct length, and then I like to just put a few marks on the elastic with some heat disappearing pen. You should mark the middle and both quarters on either side. Then we're going to put a mark on our hem as well, one at the side seam, one in the middle, one in the other side seam, and then one in the other middle. This is to mark up with the marks we made on our elastic. Now we're going to set our machine to a zigzag stitch and pin down the start of the elastic. I find it easier to work from the bottom so I can see the elastic, and then stretch your elastic so the marks meet, and then sew along that elastic to secure everything. As you get to each mark, keep putting the marks against each other and pulling the elastic. When you are finished, you should have even, ruffled, elasticated hems. And there we have it, your very own pair of the Lilibet Bloomers. I hope you enjoyed making them as much as I enjoyed designing them for you. The pattern is available now from my Etsy shop and the link will be in the description below. If you make your own pair at home, I'd love to see them. Share a photo and tag me on Instagram so that I get to see everyone's wonderful creations. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more sewing videos. Make sure to press the bell button to get any notifications for future sewing tutorials. Thank you for sewing with me and I'll see you next time.